Good morning, friends. The great writer Bret Harte tells a wonderful story about the days of the California gold rush and the gold mining that went on in Northern California. The story is called The Luck of Roaring Camp. Roaring Camp was a mean place. And in the midst of that mean place, there was a gal by the name of Cherokee Sal. And Cherokee Sal died giving birth to a little baby girl. And so the little girl, if she was going to stay alive, had to be cared for by the miners. The miners noticed as they put her in a box with a lot of dirty cloths and soiled things around that didn't seem to be the right kind of atmosphere for a baby. So they sent 80 miles away and bought a beautiful rosewood cradle. And when they got the rosewood cradle back and laid the baby in the cradle, they noticed that well, the floor and the ceiling, everything looked dirty next to that clean rosewood cradle. So they got out the mop buckets and the rags and the soap, and they cleansed the floor and they painted the walls and the ceiling. And then they noticed once they had done that the windows were not clean, and that there was no drapery for the windows. So they sent 80 miles away to Sacramento and got window curtains and got lace and made the place really pretty. And when they had done that, they used to take the baby out and lay her at the entrance to the mine as the miners would go in and off their shift. But then they got to looking around, and the entrance to the mine was just a dirty place, and they said, this is no place for a baby. We need to plant some flowers and spruce this place up. So they began to do that, and once the flowers outside the mine were painted, they looked around at the town, and the town was just really looked like it was decrepit and falling apart. So they went about fixing up the buildings and painting them, and it wasn't long until the general supply store had sold out of soap and perfume, and guys' hands were clean. When they come out of the mine, they'd wash their hands and they'd handle that little baby girl. And they discovered that the baby needed sleep, so they had to give up a lot of their loud cursing and drinking and all the kinds of carousing that was going on. And within just a few weeks, the little girl that Cherokee Sal had given birth to had changed the whole town. The baby had made a difference everywhere. The town was no longer the same. And I think of that in terms of our Christian faith, that when Jesus Christ comes to live in our life, over a period of time, everything begins to change. Habits, emotions, relationships that are destructive begin to peel away as His entrance into our lives makes an incredible difference. And whereas once there was sadness and despondency and hopelessness, now there is joy and goodness and gentleness and peacefulness and self-control. Indeed, He makes everything different. The gospel songwriter put it well: what a wonderful change in my life has been wrought since Jesus came into my heart.